Hey people, welcome to Healthy People Live. My name's Dennis and this is Becky, and today we're going to talk about cover letters. This topic has come up today because of an email that Becky received just today. Becky, do you want to go into more detail?
So I've been contacting some candidates about being unsuccessful role, and one got back to me wondering why he hadn't got through and asking for some hints on things he could do in his application to have a better result next time. I had a quick look through. I didn't need to look at the CV because the cover letter sort of highlighted all the problems already. I got back to him with 3 points. One was it was too long. It was 5 or 6 paragraphs long. Each paragraph was at least 5 or 6 sentences. So
right, it's way too long. But Big Archie did have a cover letter.
He did, yeah. So yeah, good job there. Ahead of a few. The second thing was this big long story was very off topic, and it was very much a story, a lot of personal experiences and things that didn't really relate to the job or how they would be a good fit in the role.
Yeah, and that's an important point. Employers want to know how a candidate is going to fit into the role they have available. They're not looking to work out how your life story fits into their business. So you need to stay pretty much on point.
And the last one was, which I guess is a pretty obvious reason he made it into the no pile, was he didn't fit the criteria of the role. So it was advertised as full-time and wrapped up the cover letter saying he was available only a couple of days a week for casual work.
Okay. And that might even have been just an oversight on behalf of the candidate. Maybe it was an earlier cover letter that they've reused without looking at it properly and without realising there is this element on the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
We have had a few people get in touch with us about cover letters and trying to attach them to an application by Healthy People. It's not something that we do as part of our process, and the reason is we want employers to be able to see at a glance the details about a candidate in the cover letter. So what we do is when you do apply for a job with Healthy People, and I'm just going to jump through to a screenshot here, you'll see on this image here, this is an application page for Healthy People. You'll note that there is this box in the middle that gives you the opportunity to put in the cover letter. Now, down the bottom here, that's where you attach your CV. The reason we do this, again, is so that it comes up, first and foremost when the employer is viewing your application. I'm just going to jump through now to an email. So this is an email. Excuse the blurred lines, obviously we want to keep things private. You'll note that at the top we include your contact details when the application goes through, and you can see that there is some thought going into the content of this particular cover letter. The date was actually put on by the candidate. That's not something included by us. So this is the first thing the employer sees when they open up the email. They don't have to fish around for a cover letter. They can look straight into the email and see exactly what's going on. A couple of things we point out here on this page is when you read any document, you go top left to bottom right. The first thing you see up in the top of this document is the email address. We want to make sure that people are aware that the first introduction anyone does get to your application is your email address.
Also, that email address, it says so that pulls the information from whatever you put onto your Healthy People account when you sign up. So if you put that in incorrectly, that's what's going to show up in there, which is going to mean, so like in both places, so the employer is going to have the wrong contact details for you.
Exactly, which makes it hard for them to try and get in touch with yourself. On this first line of the application here, you can see that it's a application in regards to an admin position from, and the name is under there. The name that you have on your Healthy People account will also appear there. If you do it all in lowercase, it will appear in lowercase. Obviously, if you want your application to appear more professional, it's better to have, capital D, for example, for Dennis, and capital H for Hosking. Here's another example of an application where they haven't given any detail. It gets sent through to the employer. There's no application in there. The employer opens it. Even if the cover letter is attached to this particular email, all the employer is seeing in the first instance is the contact details versus, for example, an employer opening that and seeing at first glance the application, the cover letter that's attached to the application.
Yeah, like already started reviewing the candidate without even trying.
Exactly right. Healthy People also provides employers with the ability to sort candidates online, so your application also populates a list online. The cover letter is also immediately visible here as well, so you can see the details. When they click on the cover letter link, it rolls down and shows the employer the details there. If you haven't included your cover letter in that piece, then obviously there is nothing for the employer to view when they're going through the process of sorting out their applications. So, in conclusion,
put your cover letter in the box. It's definitely there for a reason, and it's to make things easier. As you saw on the online account, that had 2 pages of applications, which can be anywhere from 21 to 40 before it goes on to a 3rd page. So you really are just a name, and the cover letter is your first chance to make an impression.
Exactly right. And again, the reason we don't allow people to include a cover letter as an attachment is because we want that cover letter to be front and center when the employer first looks at your application. They don't want to have to be digging around for it. So get the really important details up front in there, make it relevant to the role rather than a story of your life sort of thing, and you'll probably find your applications tend to be more successful. Have a good week. Cheers.